You work 40 hours a week, maybe more, to earn your money. Now answer this honestly. How many hours a week do you spend worrying about it? It's that low-grade hum of anxiety in the back of your mind. Am I saving enough? Can I really afford this? Will I ever hit my big financial goals? For most of my life, the answer was way too many hours. I was trapped on what I call the budgeting hamster wheel. I'd get a random burst of motivation, create the world's most beautiful spreadsheet, track every single coffee, feel guilty about ordering a pizza, and then, after a few weeks, I'd fall off the wagon completely. I'd crash and burn, convinced I was just bad with money. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the old way of doing things, the constant tracking, the nickel and diming, the decision fatigue, is just fundamentally broken? What if building real life-changing wealth didn't require more effort, more willpower, or more spreadsheets? What if it required less? What if you could put your finances on autopilot, ensuring your future is being built, brick by brick, while you barely lift a finger? That isn't a fantasy, it's a system. It's the lazy system I use now, and I'm going to teach it to you, step by step, right now. Let's be brutally honest. Traditional budgeting is a second job you don't get paid for. It asks you to be a part-time accountant, logging every transaction and constantly checking your progress against a bunch of rigid numbers. Think about the mental energy that takes. Every time you're at a restaurant, a little voice in your head goes, "Is this in the budget? How much is left in the dining out category?" You're not even enjoying your meal. You're doing a mental audit that's called decision fatigue. Our brains only have so much bandwidth for making smart choices in a day. When we waste it on whether a latte fits into a spreadsheet, we have less brain power for the big things, our careers, our families, our health. This is why so many of us feel like we fail at it. It's not a moral failing. The system is pretty much designed to fail because it works against our own psychology. We aren't robots. We're emotional, impulsive people living in a world that's constantly tempting us to spend. And trying to fight that with pure willpower day after day is a losing battle. I remember my breaking point vividly. I was in my mid-20s, and I had this budget spreadsheet that was a work of art. I mean, color-coded categories, pivot tables, charts. I spent a whole weekend on it. And for 3 weeks, I was a machine. I logged everything. I told myself I couldn't buy a book I wanted to read because my entertainment budget was shot. I felt miserable but virtuous. Then one Friday, a friend called. A last-minute concert ticket was available for a band I loved. An unexpected expense, it was not in the spreadsheet. According to my budget, I couldn't go, and I just felt this wave of frustration wash over me. I work hard, I try to do the right thing. And my reward is to have a spreadsheet. Tell me I can't enjoy my life. I bought the ticket. And in that one little act of rebellion, the whole system crumbled. I stopped tracking, I stopped logging in. The beautiful spreadsheet gathered digital dust in a forgotten corner of my hard drive, and the guilt was replaced by an even worse feeling. Apathy. I just gave up. My money just sat there in a low-interest checking account, a stagnant pool of anxiety. I was working, but my money wasn't, it was just there. I was stuck in a cycle of effort, failure, guilt, and just giving up. That is the prison of traditional budgeting, and I knew there had to be a way out. The big shift for me happened when I stumbled on a simple idea that completely flipped the script. It's an evolution of that old advice. Pay yourself first, which is fine, but it's incomplete. It's like telling someone who wants to get fit to just exercise more. It's not wrong, but it's not a plan. The real life-changing mantra is this: pay your goals first automatically. This isn't just a small tweak in wording, it's a huge change in philosophy. The problem with most budgets is they focus on what's going out, they focus on restriction. They ask, what can I cut back on? This new system focuses on the destination. It asks, what do I want to build? And then it just builds it for you, silently in the background. The magic ingredient here is automation. We trust automation with our obligations all the time. Your bills are probably automated. Your Netflix subscription is automated. Your rent is automated. So why on earth are we not using that same incredible power for our own dreams? The power of automation is threefold, and getting this is the key to everything. First, it takes emotion and willpower right out of the equation. The single biggest enemy to your long-term financial success is your own brain, which is wired to want stuff now rather than later. Automation is the antidote. There's no debate on payday about whether you should save that extra $200 or spend it. The decision was already made. The money gets moved to your goals before you can even touch it. You can't spend what you don't see. Second, it turns consistency into a superpower. Wealth isn't built in one giant heroic leap. It's not about a brilliant stock pick. It's built through the relentless, unsexy, boring process of being consistent. It's about laying one brick every single payday without fail. Automation is the perfect bricklayer. It never gets tired, it never forgets, it never calls in sick. It just does the work, turning small, regular deposits into a financial fortress over time. And third, this is the best part, it frees your mind. Once this system is set up, that constant low-grade money anxiety starts to fade. You no longer have to ask, am I doing enough? You know you are, because the system is running. It frees you from the spreadsheet and gives you permission to actually live your life. The money left in your checking account after your goals have been paid is yours to spend guilt-free. That's real financial freedom, not just in the future, but right now, all right? Let's get into the nuts and bolts. I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps to create your own automated wealth machine. Now, I'll be honest, this first part, the setup, takes a few hours of focused work. This is the only hard part. But think of it this way. You're about to invest a few hours today to save yourself thousands of hours of worry for the rest of your life. It's the best return on investment you'll ever make. Before you open a single app, we have to do a little brain surgery. We need to change how you see your paycheck. From now on, the money that hits your bank account on payday is not your money, not all of it. Think of yourself as the manager of Future You Incorporated, and your paycheck is the company's revenue. Your first job is to reinvest in the company's future. Your goals are your most important shareholders, and you have to pay them first. The money that's left over after that, that's your salary. That's your spending money, so let's get specific. What are you actually working for? Vague goals are weak goals. Let's make them real. Grab a piece of paper and let's give your money a purpose. First, financial security. This is your non-negotiable emergency fund. This is a stash of money that covers 3 to 6 months of your absolute essential living expenses: rent, utilities, food, that kind of thing. This is your shield against life's curveballs. Second, major life goals. These are the big rocks, the 1 to 10-year goals. Don't just say buy a house. Write down save $50,000 for a house down payment. Not retire someday, but invest for a $1 million retirement. Third, fun goals. This is just as important. Life is meant to be lived. Don't make building wealth feel like a prison sentence. What do you want to do? Save $4,000 for a trip to Japan. Save $2,500 for a new camera. Save $800 for a music festival weekend. For each goal, write down a target amount and a monthly contribution you can make. Be realistic, but don't be afraid to be a little ambitious. You can always adjust it later. The key is just to start. Every system needs a hub. For us, this is your main checking account. All your income, every paycheck, every side hustle payment flows into this one account first. Think of this account as a sorting facility. Its only job is to receive all incoming cash and then automatically send it out to its proper destination. If your current checking account charges you fees, now is the time to switch. Find a free one with a good, easy-to-use online platform. This is where the magic happens. We're going to ditch the idea of having one giant savings account. A single savings account is just a big blob of good intentions, and it's way too easy to rate it for random purchases. Instead, we're going to create a dedicated, separate savings account for every single goal you just wrote down. Yes, every single one. Most modern online banks let you open multiple buckets or sub-accounts for free, and you should absolutely use a high-yield savings account for this. As of mid-2025, many of these accounts are offering rates way higher than traditional banks, meaning your money actually grows while it's just sitting there. Now for the crucial part, you have to nickname each account after its specific goal. This isn't a silly step. It's a powerful psychological trick. When you log into your bank, you won't see Savings Account #1. You'll see Untouchable Emergency Fund, Dream House Down Payment, Japan Trip 2026, Future Millionaire Fund, Guilt-Free Gadget Fund. Seeing those names turns saving from a chore into something exciting. You're not losing $100 from your spending money. You're buying a piece of your future trip to Japan. It's a lot harder to steal money from the Dream House Fund for a new TV than it is to pull from a generic savings account. Step 4, setting up the automated transfers. Okay, time to bring it to life. Log into your primary checking account, your command center, find the section for recurring transfers. You're going to set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to each of your new goal accounts. But here's the secret sauce. Schedule these transfers to happen the day after you get paid. If you get paid on the 15th, the transfers happen on the 16th. This is how you truly pay your goals first. The money is whisked away before you even get used to seeing it in your account. It never really feels like your money to spend in the first place. You are making your good financial habits the path of least resistance. For example, let's say your take-home pay is $4,000 a month, paid twice a month. The day after your first paycheck hits, $250 zips over to Untouchable Emergency Fund, $300 zips over to Future Millionaire Fund, $200 goes to Dream House down payment, $75 goes to Japan Trip 2026. The day after your second paycheck, the exact same thing happens again. Without lifting a finger all month, you've just automatically invested over 40% of your income. After your automations have run, look at the money that's left in your checking account. That is your budget for the pay period. You use that money for everything else: groceries, gas, bills, restaurants, whatever you want. And here is the most liberating part. You can spend every last penny of that money with zero guilt. Why? Because you know with 100% certainty that you've already taken care of business. You've paid your future self first. Your goals are being worked on. The system is running. This frees you from needing to track every dollar and lets you just live. Once you've got the basic system running, you can add a few more layers to make your life even easier. These are the pro-level lazy moves. 1. Automate your investments. For long-term goals like retirement, your money needs to be invested so it can actually grow. The principle is the same. Open a brokerage account. Pick a simple diversified investment like a target date fund or a broad market index fund like an S&P 500 ETF, and set up an automated transfer from your checking account every payday. This is called dollar cost averaging, and it's the most reliable way for most people to build wealth. You buy consistently, whether the market is up or down, and you remove the temptation to time the market, which is a fool's errand. 2. Automate your bill. Pay. This seems obvious, but a lot of people still pay bills manually. Go through every predictable bill you have: rent, car payment, cell phone, internet, insurance, and set them all to auto-pay from your checking account. This saves you from late fees and, more importantly, it reduces your mental load. 3. The automated raise protocol. This is a powerful one. Anytime you get a pay raise or a bonus, you need a plan for it before it hits your account. Otherwise, it just gets absorbed into your spending. My rule is the 50-50th split. If a raise gives you an extra $200 per paycheck, you immediately go into your bank and increase your automated transfers by $100. The other $100 becomes your new, increased, guilt-free spending money. This way, you accelerate your goals while also getting to enjoy the raise. It's the perfect balance. 4. The annual lazy review. Set it and forget it doesn't mean never look at it again. Once a year, schedule an hour on your calendar to do a quick review. Are your goals the same? Maybe you can rename an account. Is your emergency fund full? Awesome! Pause the transfer to that account and redirect that money to another goal to supercharge it. This little check-in keeps your automated system perfectly aligned with your life. I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds great, but my life isn't that simple. Let's tackle the common hurdles. What if I have an irregular income? This is a super common question. The principle is the same. We just add one step. Create a separate account called your income holding pen. All your erratic client payments go there first. Then, once or twice a month, you pay yourself a consistent, predictable salary from your holding pen into your main checking account. All your automations run based on that predictable payment. This smooths out the bumps and lets the system work perfectly. What if an unexpected expense comes up? This isn't a what if, it's a when life happens. This is exactly why your number one priority was building that untouchable emergency fund. When an emergency hits, you use the money in that fund to handle it. You can even temporarily pause your other goal automations. Once the storm has passed, your first job is to turn everything back on to refill that emergency fund. The system is designed to absorb these kinds of shocks. This sounds really complicated to set up. I hear you. It can feel a little daunting at first, but think of it like assembling IKEA furniture. The instructions might look intimidating, but Once it's built, you have a useful thing for years. This is the same. A few hours of focused effort buys you a lifetime of financial peace of mind. And honestly, setting up a recurring transfer on a modern banking app takes about 60 seconds. You can do this. Which specific bank or app should I use? To keep this advice evergreen, I don't recommend specific brands. Instead, here's what to look for: a no-fee checking account for your command center and a high-yield savings account provider that lets you open multiple, nicknamed accounts for free. Just search for best high-yield savings accounts, check their features, and pick one that looks good to you. The brand is way less important than the features that make this lazy system work. For years, we've been told that financial success requires obsessive tracking and constant guilt. We've been made to feel that if we struggle, we're the ones who failed. The truth is, the system failed. The secret to building wealth isn't about working harder at managing your money. It's about building a smarter and, yes, lazier system to do the work for you. It's about shifting your focus from the negative work of restriction to the positive work of building. This system works because it uses technology to gently guide us toward our goals. It automates your biggest financial priorities so you can be more present in your life. It takes the stress out of your finances and frees your mind from that constant low-grade anxiety. You have the blueprint. Stop being the hamster on the budgeting wheel. Start being the architect of your own future. If this video shifted your perspective on money, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I talk about how to build a wealthy life without stress every single week, and I'd love to have you here. And now, a question for the comments. What is the very first goal you are going to create an automated savings account for? Is it an emergency fund, a dream trip, a down payment? Let me know below. Reading about your goals is genuinely one of my favorite things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.